So anyway, back to that gun thing in America that kind of drives me nuts is they had a gun confiscation, and I remember seeing it, like videos. These people were talking about it, how these soldiers and I mean I don't know. There's people with guns come into Hurricane Katrina and take away honest citizens' guns, and it's like, wait a minute, isn't that when somebody would want a gun to defend your property and your person? Is when there's a disaster and somebody could potentially come up to you. I mean, and they didn't take away the criminals' guns. I mean, they would have took away the criminals' guns, but the criminals don't give up their guns. It's because they're criminals. Why would they want to? They don't go through background checks. They just go find a trunk and they buy illegal guns. I mean, they're still doing it in England. You can't get guns, but it doesn't matter. The real criminals can just fine. Anyways, but they don't even need to worry about it. They can just kick doors in over there. But back over to this like, I don't know, my gun thoughts is that, I was watching one of these videos during that hurricane time. There's this old lady, and she had like an antique 22 revolver. First off, that doesn't really seem like a threat. And second, you would think that that's barely a defense round. But probably something she could handle and knew, and a platform that she understood. So you shouldn't step outside your comfort zone. But these large men came in and just basically beat that woman, that old woman, to down. They beat her down. You can see the video. It's right there. And they don't care there's a camera. They got orders. Disarm. And so they went right in there, beat an old woman down. My head is off to you, old woman beaters, like, and took her gun. That's mean. I mean, it's not like they ran into a felon's house. It was a drug dealer or something, and beat him down and took away his guns and his drugs and his money and threw him in prison. They ran into an old lady's house and beat her down and took her 22 revolver. But it was like an old piece of crap looking revolver, and it wasn't even loaded. Later on, you see this guy, and he's like talking, that they're just mad that their guns are bigger than ours and they took our guns or whatever. But shouldn't they have a right to defend themselves? I wonder what George Washington would have done, when you try to show up at his house to try to tell him it's a national emergency, we need to take away your gun. Good luck, dude. That would have been a hot piece of lead flying at you. And he would have died very happy. Yeah, you would have got his gun. He's like dead fingers all over it. I don't know. He was kind of a commander of men, so I bet you men would have rose to his occasion to defend him. But I think the point is simple. It was a test. And somebody else had said that too. I don't remember which person. We're trying to see if the American public was ready. As a Confederated Blackfoot man, I'm here to tell you, they will take them. They took ours, and we turned them all in. They killed 120 million of us. 120 million Native Americans. There's tribes wiped off that map that don't even exist anymore. That's not a Christian government. It never was. When it says "in God we trust" on that stuff, it does not mean that. George Washington was a Mason. They worship the god of Osiris, Apollo, and Isis. It's on our money, and we can see it. the God that I trust is not that God. But it's weird too, because that's what I would think. I would think that it would mean in God we trust, as in the God of Jesus. Whether you believe he's a prophet or whether you believe he's the Son of God. When you look at that money, it says, in God we trust. You would think that's what that means. But it wasn't a Christian God that came in and killed my people. That wasn't a Christian God.